If you're ready to experience more peace and joy in your life, if you want to feel more comfortable in your own skin, and if you're ready to discover and expand on your energetic gifts and personal power, you're in the right place. So here's your host, Kelle Sparta.
Hello and welcome to Spirit Guides Thursday Thoughts. This is the place where you will get to hear snippets of conversations I've had with people over the years and get a variety of thoughts for you to consider for today. Enjoy! Hi, Kelle Sparta again. This is part 2 of Discover the Unresolved Emotional Baggage from Your Childhood, which makes you feel unfulfilled despite being successful in every other way. Today, we're going to talk about boundaries. Now, boundaries can get to be a little dicey. Most of you are empaths, okay? And when we're an empath, we don't really know where we end and other people begin. And so I'm going to talk to you today about John, not his real name, but we're going to call him John, okay? And John was having a hard time with his boundaries. And he was very successful in business, very successful. But what happened was his clients would walk all over him. He'd be bending over backwards to make them happy, and he would go out of his way to do extra work, and they would just come at him and ask for more and more and more. And because John was not great at setting boundaries, his successful business was also successfully keeping him from having a life. And, you know, when this sort of thing comes into play, it's not just, if you're a business owner like John, then it wasn't just in the conversations with clients, it also went to employees as well. So his employees would push to take extra days off or to make the rules different or to make things different for them or whatever. And he wanted them to like him. So he would give in and be like, yeah, okay, we'll make it work. And then he would be without the staff he needed when he needed it. And it became challenging. Again, he ended up filling the void. And so yet again, it would steal from his life to make sure that the business would stay up and running. And so, John found himself with a very successful business and no life at all. And so when you have this problem, you have to work on the boundary piece. You have to be willing to say, look, I'm the boss, I get to set the rules. Or I'm the boss of my life and my time. If you don't run a business, then it doesn't even have to be about that. It can be about my life and my time. I get to say no, And when we are bad at saying no, we have a problem because then everybody else gets us to say yes. And therefore our entire life is spent serving other people's needs, right? And so that's what John and I worked on. We worked on getting him from that place of being at the service of his clients and his employees and not being able to control anything that was going on around him, to being able to set limits on what he would do for his clients and to be able to say, enough, this is what I'm giving you, and this is enough, and it's more than enough, right? And to say to the employees, look, I'm the boss, not you. I get to set the rules, and you either follow them or you don't work here anymore. It's a very simple concept, right? And in your personal life, it'll even bleed over into that too. So at home, John's parents were demanding a lot of his time. And he literally had nothing left for himself. By the time he got done with work and he got done with his parents, he'd fall in bed at night and just be done. He had no time for anything he was interested in. So when you adjust these things, then you actually get to have a life. So if you're sitting there and saying, hey, I don't have a life, this would be the time to think about making some changes, right? All right, we'll talk to you next time. And that's it for this week's Thursday Thoughts. Join us tomorrow for the Ascend Day on the Spirit Guides podcast.
So that's it for today's episode of Spirit Guides Podcast. Head on over to iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen and subscribe to the show. Every week, one lucky listener who subscribes and posts a review on iTunes will be entered into a drawing for a $10,000 value grand prize and a private reading with Kelle Sparta herself. Be sure to head on over to spiritguidespodcast.com and pick up a free copy of Kelle's gift and join us on the next episode.